Jai Shri Ram, Jai Jai Shri Ram. In this video, we will discuss what is neuron. So, we all know that neural tissues are something, they are forming our brain, they are forming our spinal cord, right? Yeah, they are forming our brain and spinal cord. And these neural tissues have two type of cells. One cell is called neuron and second type of cell is called neuroglial cells, right? Neuroglial cells are such a type of cells which are more than 50% of the neural tissues, right? And they are such a kind of cells who can divide. Yeah, they can divide. Okay, and they support neuron. Now what is neuron? Neuron is the structural and functional unit of neural system. Yeah, it's the structural and functional unit of neural system, and this neuron is responsible for two function of neural system. One is controlling the organ, controlling the activity, and second one is coordination between two organ, coordination between two activity. Like at present you see I am speaking also and I'm writing also something, isn't it? So that means my brain, my tongue, my vocal cord, my memories, my fingers, my hand, they all are working in coordinated manner. So neuron is actually for control and coordination, and this neuroglial cells, they support these all neurons. Fine. Now in this video we will see neuron only in detail. So this is what, this is one neuron we have. Neuron, it can divide into two types. See, neuron is ordinary cell, fine, like a human, other human cell, it have also 46 chromosome and it can divide into two part. This part you see, this cells like a part, is called cell body, or you can call it cyton. Okay, and it have nucleus, you see, and this the structure is surrounding the nucleus. That's why we'll call them perikaryon. Peri means surrounding, karyo means nucleus. So cell body you say, or cyton you say, or perikaryon you say, same thing, right? This portion is called cell body, and this extension, are you observing? This extended part is actually called axon. So this extension, this process is called axon. Okay, so my neuron have some extensions in their cell body also, and these extensions are called dendrites. So basically I can divide neuron, in two part. First part, that is called cell body. Yes, we'll call it cell body. Second part is called processes. Now what are the processes? Yes, what are the processes, students? The processes are two type here. One is axon and another one is dendrites. Both are extensions. What are the similarity and differences between axon and dendrite? Let's see. This dendrite, what is function of the dendrite? Before going to the function of dendrite, let's see some more thing. So neuron have a nucleus, isn't it? Remember it, neuron have not centrosome. Centrosome, like other animal cell, they don't have centrosome. Centrosome is absent here. And this neuron, they cannot divide. So scientists believe, they are blocked in G0 phase of the cell division. Yes, right. And are you observing so many gray color granule in the cytoplasm? These all granules are Niegel's granule. Niegel's granules are characteristic feature of the neuron. This Niegel granule have lot of rough endoplasmic reticulum and ribosome. This rough endoplasmic reticulum and ribosome aggregation is Niegel's granule. That means Niegel granule is site for protein synthesis. Yes, Niegel's granule is site for protein synthesis. Protein used to synthesize here in this Niegel granule. Fine. You see this Niegel's granule present in the cell body, and this new Niegel's granule present in these all extensions also, that is called dendrites. But you see, in axon, these Nigel's granules are not present, right? So this is a great difference between axon and dendrite. In axon, Nigel's granule absent. Nigel's granule absent. Absent. And here in dendrites, Nigel's granule present. Axon, these all dendrites are branched. Yes, these dendrites are branched. But what about axon? Axons are also branched. You see, axons are branched. You see, the end of the axon is branched. So I'm writing here. Axon can also be branched. See, dendrites, in the neuron, dendrites can be one or it can be many also. Axon is fixed. Axon is only one in the neuron. Okay. Now you see what is function of axon and dendrites. This axon, it collects, sorry, this dendrite, they collect stimulus from the surrounding. Like I have this some neuron, I have one neuron and it have lot of dendrites. So these dendrites, they will collect stimulus from the surrounding. Yeah. What can be the stimulus? Stimulus is any kind of change in environment like touch, pain, pressure, temperature, light, heat, sound. Yes. So they will collect this kind of stimulus like sound. They will at present, in the neurons of your ear, they are collecting my sound stimulus. Fine. So they will collect that and then they will bring it to the cell body. Cell body will generate nerve impulse by that. So what is function of dendrite? They collect stimulus from surrounding. Yeah, they collect stimulus from surrounding. Okay, after correcting that kind of all kind of stimulus from the surrounding, that stimulus will come to cell body portion and cell body will generate nerve impulse. Nerve impulse, how it will generate, we have already discussed in one video. Okay, so nerve impulse came here. Now who will generate nerve impulse, students? I'm writing here, this cell body, this cyton, is generate nerve impulse. Yeah, they generate nerve impulse. After generation of nerve impulse, this nerve impulse must go to brain or spinal cord for decoding it. Right? Like you are hearing one sound. Now that sound is human sound or tiger sound or your mother is calling you. Right? You have to decode it or not. So how it will be decoded? First sound waves will be detected by our the dendrites. Then it's going to bring here in cyton, nerve impulse will generate, and then that nerve impulse, it will transmit. This nerve impulse, it will transmit in this axon, and that impulse will take into the brain and spinal cord for decoding it. So what is function of the axon? They take nerve impulse away from the see, our dendrite was taking stimulus toward the cell body, and axon will take that stimulus away from the cell body. I'm writing here, take stimulus or impulses away from the cell body. Yeah, they will take these all things away from the cell body. Fine or not? Yes. Nerve impulse generated. Nerve impulse generated. Now it's flowing into the axon. Now, student, if you'll see the structure of axon, axon can be axon. It's like a wire. We have electric wire. In that electric wire, electricity flow. This nerve impulse is a kind of electricity only. It's also flow of charge, right? So this axon, it's work like a wire. In that our nerve impulse flow, and like the electric wire is covered by plastic, which is a kind of insulator. It minimizes loss of the energy. Same thing is here also. When nerve impulse will flow here, there should be something which act as insulator, and nature have given a kind of biological electrical stimulator, and that biological electrical stimulator is called myelin sheath. Yeah, this myelin sheath, you see, this is myelin sheath. Myelin sheath is biological electrical insulator, means it's biological material. It's lipid in nature, and it's secreted by whom? It's secreted by Schwann cells. In peripheral neural system, it's secreted by myelin, it's secreted by Schwann cell. But when you will see central neural system, yeah, in central neural system, myelin sheath, central neural system have also a lot of myelinated neurons. So that myelin sheath of the myelinated neuron is secreted by oligodendrocytes. So oligodendrocytes secretes myelin sheath in central neural system. It doesn't mean that in the central neural system Schwann cells are not present. Even Schwann cells are present, then also oligodendrocytes secrete myelin sheath. I hope my point is clear to you all. Fine. Okay. Now, when the nerve impulse generated, the nerve impulse is flowing across this axon, obviously they cannot cross this myelin sheath. Okay. So nerve impulse will jump from one node of Ranvier to another node of Ranvier. You may ask, sir, what is node of Ranvier? Node of Ranvier is that region of the axon where myelin sheath is absent. Myelin sheath is not present. And finally, that impulse will come at to end, and it will cause release of neurotransmitter, and impulse will go to next neuron. Fine. So myelin sheath function we got, oligodendrocyte function we got. Fine. How nerve impulse nerve impulse transmit in myelinated neuron from one node of Ranvier to another node of Ranvier. One more thing we have to understand: if we have two neuron, one is myelinated neuron, another one is unmyelinated neuron. So in myelinated neuron, transmission of nerve impulse is fast, because nerve impulse, they are moving from one node of Ranvier to another node of Ranvier directly. Okay. Now one student asked me, sir, what is uh, myelin sheath is okay, what is neurolemma? See, the Schwann cell, which a kind of neuroglial cell, you see, they are surrounding this myelin, their axon. The thickness of Schwann cell, there will be some one here. Maybe I mentioned two cells, but actually 200 to 250 cells are present here, right? So that cell, obviously, that cytoplasm, protoplasm have some kind of thickness. That thickness of this Schwann cell is called neurolemma. Okay. Now the neurons have four types. First one is called unipolar neuron. Unipolar neuron, you see, unipolar neuron is present in a embryonic stage of human. Yeah, it's present in embryonic stage of human. Unipolar neuron actually is present in embryonic stage of human. In this unipolar neuron, they have not dendron, they have only axon. Fine. Embryonic stage it is present. Okay, it have, because it have only one process from the cell body, you see, only one process, that is axon is starting. That's why you'll call it unipolar neuron. Second type of neuron is bipolar neuron. Bipolar neuron have two processes, two extension. One is dendron, this is dendron, you see, and another one is axon, this is axon. This bipolar neuron present in retina of the eye, bipolar neuron present in our olfactory epithelium. Then next one is pseudo unipolar neuron. Pseudo means false, false unipolar neuron. How? Try to understand it. This false new unipolar neuron present in dorsal root ganglia. Dorsal root ganglia, is that pathway through which sensory neurons collect stimulus and take it to the spinal cord, isn't it? So here you see in this neuron one dendron present and one axon present, right? So it should one dendron one axon, means it's like a bipolar neuron. Yeah, it's a type of bipolar neuron only. But are you observing from the cell body only one extension started, only one process started? That means till here it's like a unipolar neuron, because from cell only one process start, we will call it unipolar neuron. But later it split and form bipolar. That's why it's neither unipolar neuron nor bipolar neuron, it's a pseudo unipolar neuron. And then next one is multipolar neuron. Multipolar neuron have many dendrites and one axon. And one more type of neuron present we have, this one more type of neuron is called apolar neuron. It have no dendrite, no axon, and is present in mid area. Okay, so we discussed different type of neuron: unipolar neuron, bipolar neuron, pseudo unipolar neuron, multipolar neuron. Fine. So these are the different types of neuron. Okay, then neuron can divide, on the basis of their function also. Like I have one neuron that called efferent neuron. Oh my god, efferent neuron, efferent neuron. And second type of neuron is efferent neuron. Yeah, efferent neuron. Afferent neuron you say, or you call it sensory neuron, you say, same thing. Sensory neuron, their dendrites are present on the sensory organ, like eyes, like ear, like skin, like olfactory epithelium. Their dendrites are present, right? They collect stimulus and take it to the central neural system. Efferent neuron or effector neurons are motor neuron. They take stimulus from here, they take stimulus from the brain or spinal cord and transfer it to the skeletal muscle, and they can cause some kind of action in the skeletal muscle, some kind of contraction in skeletal muscle, so it will cause activity in that skeletal muscle. Fine. Then neuron we can divide on the basis of myelin sheath, myelinated neuron and unmyelinated neuron. Myelinated neuron is that neuron which have myelin sheath. Unmyelinated neuron is that neuron which have not myelin sheath. Fine. It is observed that in myelinated neuron, transmission of nerve impulse is fast as compared to unmyelinated neuron. Okay, fine. So here we discuss different kind of neuron. We discuss basic structure of neuron. Remaining we'll see in next video. Bye.